Alright guys, it is Kieran from Red Devil Weekly. Manchester United have rounded off 2020 with a win. An unexpected win really, if you watch the full 90 minutes. A 1-0 win over Wolves, which puts us 2 points off Liverpool at the top of the table to finish 2020. They're obviously playing tomorrow, so we'll probably finish 5 points behind them. But hey, we will definitely be finishing 2020 in second place. And to be honest with you, after the way we started, after our first 3 games, if you told me that we were going to finish 2020 in second position, I would have ripped your arm off. I really would have. Welcome, Kobe. Thanks for joining already. Before we get into anything, as always, I want to address you guys who are watching the video. Make sure you do leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Subscribe to the channel as well if you are new, and leave a like if you haven't already. That absolutely does mean a lot to the channel, means a lot to me as well if you are liking the content. So without further ado, we're going to get straight into it. Kobe, United Base and Brother Game, thanks for joining guys, really appreciate it already, and leave your thoughts in the live chat. As usual, we'll go through what you guys have to say, but a moment's team is a moment's team forever, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the lucky general tonight. Marcus Rashford's deflected effort in the 93rd minute gives Manchester United a 1-0 win over Wolves, and really, that was one of the only main chances we had. I think Rashford tonight wasn't brilliant, in my opinion, but he came up with the all-important goal, albeit it was very fortunate, but in the end, the goal gets credited to him. And the man of the match as well, as voted for by the Amazon pundits, was Roman Saiss, and it did end up, unfortunately, deflecting off Saiss as well. So it's unfortunate for him, but obviously in one man's fortune, doesn't matter. United Base is Matic by class today, Pogba also up there. I thought defensively we were quite solid. I thought defensively we were pretty good, especially with dealing with Adama Traore, you know, someone who's one of the quickest players in the league, and we actually didn't give him a free run. I was expecting us to really feel the brunt of his pace, and I thought we were going to get exposed, and it did look likely. But to be fair to Maguire, to be fair to Eric Bailly, and I think Eric Bailly had a big role to play in the fact that he's got a lot of pace, more pace than Harry Maguire does. The fact that we got through that was massive, really. Massive. Sifo, thanks for joining, our resident Arsenal fan. He says, Defo didn't deserve a win today. Better team lost. Fair play, though. That second place trophy is going to look class in the cabinet. Yeah, listen, you've got to be happy with second place. I mean, I'm not going to apologise for being happy about being second. Did you see how we started for the season, Sifo? Did you see? So I'm not going to be kind of coy and kind of quiet about being second in the table. It's the highest we've been since Alex Ferguson left the club, and I'm happy about it. Kobe says, imagine that defence if we had Upamecano. Yeah, I think if we had Upamecano alongside someone like Eric Bailly, I think we'd have a very, very strong defence, even alongside someone like Harry Maguire. But it's shown to me that if you've put someone who's competent and has got a lot of pace, like Eric Bailly, next to Harry Maguire, he doesn't look as bad. I thought Harry Maguire looked alright tonight. So it shows that Harry Maguire, for me, has a future at Manchester United. And not only that, but if you put the right partner next to him, we'll get the best out of him, and we'll probably see a much better defender. If you look at the partnerships down the years, they've always had one defender next to them, you have one defender who's the pace and does all the sweeping up, and the other one who's the kind of the enforcer, if you like. And Maguire plays a very good enforcer role. So if you have someone next to him, like an Eric Bailly, who can do the job for you, and kind of sweep up with his pace, I think we'll have a very good defence there, in my opinion. Maybe I'm jumping the gun. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Brother Games says, Bailly stays. I wouldn't say we're in a race just yet. Obviously, we are in second place. I'm not going to say anything about the time. I feel like that's just a recipe for disaster at this point. But at the same time, when you look at the table, we are the closest challengers to Liverpool right now. If you look at Bailly, that's the problem. Will he ever stay fit? I'm not convinced that he can stay fit. He looked like today he was going to get injured with some of the stuff and some of the tackles he was doing. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Eric Bailly back on a stretcher soon. I'm obviously not wishing any sort of injury on him, but I just feel like he's the kind of guy that sort of unlucky kind of unfortunate foul or bad tackle is going to happen to him. It always seems to. So hopefully he stays fit, because if he does, he can do wonders for us. He really can. And even Sifo's saying it. He's saying Bailly's your best centre back at the club. Like, it's not even an argument. I agree. I think when he's fit, he is one of the best centre backs in the league, in my opinion. But will we be able to keep him fit for a long period of time? I'm not sure. I was about to say I don't think so, but I said I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I can't say for sure, but I'm not sure. Dada says we were lucky to win, but at the same time we were the better team in the second half, so it was deserved. I nearly fell asleep on stream watching that game. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I feel bad for you, the fact that you had to kind of sit there and also react to YouTube comments and stuff whilst watching that, because I probably would have fallen asleep, to be honest, doing that. But, yeah, no, it was good to get the winner in the end, obviously, in typical Manchester United fashion, but it was a very boring game, no doubt about it. It was a very boring game. It was, it wasn't even a game of two halves. I think both halves were distinctly boring. I think Wolves could class themselves very unlucky not to come away with anything. They had the best chances. They worked David De Gea the most. But, it's one of those things where when you're up there, when you're on good form, sometimes things go for you. And that was a massive slice of luck for Marcus Rashford, who's scored his 4th goal in 4 consecutive Premier League games as well. So he's on a little bit of a good run of form. So maybe that was the reason why it's going for him. And also the fact he's doing this great charity work, I have a feeling that that's got a bit to do with it. I'm a little bit of a believer in kind of fate and karma and that sort of stuff. So maybe that's the sort of thing. Maybe I'm talking absolute bollocks. Kobe says we should buy Basuma. He bossed the midfield against Arsenal. I did watch the Brighton game before the Manchester United game. Basuma did look very impressive. And that is a position that we are going to need to strengthen. I think Matic tonight actually didn't do a bad job, regarding taking into account his age. But eventually we are going to have to replace that part of the pitch, because it's all right having Bruno Fernandes to create the chances, and you look at Paul Pogba, I think he's going to be gone. Van der Beek can't even buy a game at the moment. So I feel like we will need to bring in someone in that central defensive midfield role, unless we're happy to kind of have McTominay as our main CDM in years to come, which I wouldn't put it past Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to want that, or to persevere with Scott McTominay, because he does seem to like bringing Scott McTominay on, especially in today's game. He brought McTominay on after he got the goal. So I think he's obviously one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's favourites, so I wouldn't be surprised if we went down that road. I wouldn't. But my man of the match, I'll go through the man of the match. By the way, that is the saying, one man's pain is another man's joy. Thank you very much, Kobe. I wish you were my producer and you could have said that in my ear as I was saying it, so I didn't cock it up. But my man of the match tonight, from a Manchester United point of view, would probably have to be... I think it'd have to be Eric Bailly, to be honest with you, because for me, I feel like going forward, we look pretty hopeless for 90 minutes. And defensively, we actually looked pretty solid. And Bailly's pace was so important, especially against the likes of Adama Traore. So the fact that Bailly bailed us out quite a few times and was overall quite solid as a defender, I'm going to give it to Eric Bailly tonight, which is unusual to give man of the match to a defender. It's very weird. Usually we're giving it to Bruno Fernandes, but Eric Bailly, I thought he was absolutely outstanding at the back tonight. But let me know your thoughts on man of the match as well. I think Bruno Fernandes, obviously, you could probably give it to him, but that's pretty well a given. But other than that, I thought our forward players weren't that threatening tonight. I didn't think they played that big of a role. I didn't think they were that great. So there you go. I don't know who else you'd give it to. I think David De Gea as well has got to be a candidate. He made some really important saves, actually. Some which would be understated. I think most of them he probably should have made. I don't think he made any kind of incredible, outstanding, worldy saves or anything like that. But he made the saves that he needed to make when it mattered. So there you go. There you go. I think David De Gea and Eric Bailly for me are the two that I would nominate. But if you've got anyone different, let us know. Let us know in the live chat. I've lost my phone. Kobe says, don't think McTominay's a CDM. I think he's a box-to-box, as he showed in the Leeds game. I tell you what, if he could score us 2 goals a game every game, we could turn him into our Zidane. I mean, I tell you. But I think he is more of a CDM, to be honest with you, in my opinion. I don't think... I mean, he's shown he's got that attacking ability, but I think realistically there was quite a lot of luck involved in that as well. But he played well in that game, there's no doubt about it. But I feel like, for me, I'd probably play him in where Solskjaer usually plays in, where he plays next to someone like Fred. And Fred's also an interesting one because there's obviously an argument, can Fred play that central defensive midfielder role? Or is Fred more of a box-to-box as well? Because you look at Matic and you look at McTominay, and they're very similar in terms of build and in terms of their style with the ball. So Fred's quite different, as he likes to take more risks. He likes to kind of, go forward a little bit more. So I feel like Fred doesn't have the same sort of defensive capabilities of the likes of McTominay and Matic. So I think if McTominay is to play, I think he needs to play alongside Fred. That's my opinion. Dazza said, had 0-0 written all over it this game. All over it. It did, Dazza. I agree. Especially, right until the final whistle, to be honest with you. We did have the ball in the net through Edison Cavani. It was ruled offside. I thought potentially that could have been, but obviously it wasn't given as a penalty, and the game went on. Given offside, but Cavani could have got his 4th Premier League goal for Manchester United, which would have been nice. But yeah, it had 0-0 written all over it, to be honest. I actually thought the Wolves could have nicked it. They had a few chances from set pieces, and to be honest with you, when they were running our backline, they did look quite dangerous. So that was one thing that was worrying me about this game. But we got the goal in the end. It was an all important goal, and you can't really complain too much about the 3 points. The performance, yes, you can definitely complain about that because it was poor, but the 3 points is all that matters really, especially at this stage of the season. Kobe says, did you think Conor Cody's handball was a penalty? I thought it was, to be honest with you, Kobe. I thought it was. I think it would have been a little bit harsh, but I did think it was a penalty. It was one of those ones where if you look, the ball's not coming quickly. That's the first thing I'd say. I do feel a lot of sympathy for defenders when the ball just cannons off their hand and they can't do much about it. That's very, very difficult to give, in my opinion. But the ball, I'm not sure it was just a slow motion, but the ball didn't look like it was going that quick. The ball kind of just bubbled a little bit, came off the hand, and the hand was a little bit away from the body. So in that respect, I would say that the referee might have got that. I think it would have been a little bit harsh to give that against Wolves. So it's one of them. I've seen them given, but I've seen them not given. So overall, I'm not disappointed with the decision, the fact that we won the game. If we didn't win the game, obviously we'd still be talking about that decision. But hey ho, we move on. And as I said, at this point of the season, in the busy Christmas period, it's all about picking up the 3 points. It doesn't matter how you perform. It doesn't matter who scores the goal, as long as you get the win and the 3 points. And look where we are on the table right now. We're currently sitting 2 points behind Liverpool, who have a tricky game away at Newcastle. That's not going to be easy, I don't think. Although if any team is going to make it look easy, it'll be Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. But I don't think it's going to be an easy game for them. Their games against Newcastle for Liverpool have been historically difficult tests. They've been difficult to navigate for Liverpool. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully it'll be a good game, and hopefully Newcastle can do us a favour. But they're also talking about this, potential kind of break as well. It's our 2-week break from football, and it'll be a bit unfortunate if that happens. Obviously, we're on a bit of a groove right now. We're doing quite well. So if we were to, if this was to kind of have if we were to have this break, then it'd be disappointing, especially the fact that we seem to be grinding out results. We seem to be, playing a bit better going forward, at least not in this game anyway. But if obviously the health comes first, I guess you can't do much about it. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't agree with it. But hey, I'm a mere mortal. I can't change anything. The FA are paid to do what they do. They're gonna do whatever. Welcome United Social Television as well, and welcome Patrick. Thanks for joining, guys. Appreciate it. I'll put the link out in just a second, mate. No problem at all. Patrick says, almost gave up. What kind of United fan am I, mate? I wouldn't have blamed you. I really wouldn't have blamed you with that sort of performance. Don't worry about it. He also says, mood and weak changes at the last moment, but well played Wolves. They did what they had to do. They came to Manchester United, they came to Old Trafford and actually implemented the game plan which we knew was going to work against us, that no other team has done this Christmas period. How do teams not see that when you set up defensively, you set up resolute at the back, we can't break it down? That's something which I've always kind of found really puzzling about other teams playing Manchester United. They play into our hands a lot of the time, and it's not frustrating. It's great to see, and I hope it continues. But it's weird. I'm sure from an opposition point of view, it's hard. It's hard to see, really. K-Side, thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Lovely results. They were a lovely set of results. Tasty set of results indeed. You know what? I'll give the link, and we'll invite some people in to have their say. I'm probably not going to be live for that long of a session today, but we'll have a few little tidbits from people to see what they've got to say on the last game before 2020 is done. Potentially the last game for a while as well. Kobe says, do you think we should play our game against Burnley since we might not be able to play our game against City? I don't know. I don't think we will have to. I don't think we'll have the luxury of doing that, to be honest with you, Kobe. I think, unfortunately, the FA obviously is going to have their say on that. I feel like it's just going to go as the FA have scheduled it now. But I think, yeah, to answer your question, I have no idea what they're going to do with the schedules, but I feel like how it is right now, I just take that as what's going to happen, because I don't see anything changing too drastically, but who knows? It's the FA we're talking about here. Okay, right, let's get some people in. We've got one person here. We've got Dazza, of course, and we'll have Rakani on as well, which is always good, and to get him to have his say. Let's get Kobe's comment off the screen. Nothing against you, Kobe, not at all. And let's add these guys in. So, right, we've got Dazza and we've got Rakani. We've got Dazza from Dazza's Football Stand and Rakani from United Social Television. Make sure to check those guys out if you haven't already. Brilliant stuff on there if you are a Manchester United fan and love watching Manchester United content on YouTube. But thanks for joining, guys. Appreciate it. We'll just have a short discussion on what happened in tonight's match. We'll start with you, Dazza. You said going into the game it had 0-0 written all over it. Did you expect United to get that goal late on?
It was absolutely cack, that game, I'm not going to lie. As I'd already said, I nearly fell asleep watching it. God, I've had more excitement playing squad battles, that's all I'm going to say. But, nah, I didn't think it was going to be a goal for us. I thought if anyone was going to score, it'd be Wolves. I don't know why. I sort of underestimated United, because the chances that we had and the amount of times we were wasting all of them, I was like, God, it's going to be a goalless draw. Rashford steps up and wins the game, and I don't even think he was that good, if I'm being honest. I only gave Rashford a 6. I thought Rashford was average. Like, I think the whole team was average, in fairness. So it wasn't a good performance. Yeah. We were terrible from the start. And you know, we didn't really look that good. Put it this way, when I was on my stream, I summarised it as the first half was very, very, very crap, and the second half was crap. So we were better in the second half, but not by a massive margin. But I do think in the second half we were a better team, and even though we were terrible, we got the win we deserved. But at the same time, I thought we were lucky to win it. We were lucky to win, but at the same time, we deserved it. If you get me, Jeff.
Yeah, I can kind of understand what you're saying there, Daz. I can understand kind of where you're coming from. Football Crew Show, thanks for joining as well. He says, we're second in the league. Now they're going to believe us. We're going to win the league. I'd say, I like your confidence, mate. I like your confidence. I'm not getting too hyped up too soon. But we'll bring in you, Rakani. Thanks for coming on from United Social Television. Make sure to check that out if you haven't already. For you, how would you rate the performance overall? And who would you give man of the match to from a Manchester United point of view?
Man of the match, I think it goes to Bruno Fernandes, because he's the man who really came up and showed that he really could do great for the team, although he really missed out on the best chance of the game to me in the first half. That ball that Mason Greenwood really brought in, and it formed him into action. He was really running, he was in motion, and he really never got a good hit on it. But if at all it had found him really well positioned, I think he would have bagged at the back of the net. And I think he really tried to do the best through the game, but my big problem we are having at United is when you look in the game against Wolves, even in the first half, we had most of the ball, but we really failed to use it. You see, Alex Telles was getting the ball on the left-hand side, and instead of the likes of Paul Pogba and Marcus Rashford running into the box such that they create space for him, they are just going towards him and they are inviting players to play or to mark them outside the 18 box area. So that's the problem I saw. United had the most of the ball into the first half, but we failed to use it. And to my surprise, a Wolverhampton that never had most of the ball had the most number of shots into the first half on target. Imagine. So I think it's really leaves me. However much I love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but there are things he should really change in the way he coaches this team. When we look at teams like Wolverhampton, we shouldn't really see ourselves why we really have to take caution while playing them, because United can really score against any team. So the reason as to why it took us long for us not to get a goal was leaving Edson Cavani isolated alone into the 18-yard box, and no ball, and no players were into the box. And that things changed only when Anton Martial came onto the pitch, because he's this kind of player who can really get the ball and take it to the players, to the opponents. And you saw what he did. He started to take it to the opponents. And I think we really saw that United was really playing something nice. And the reason as to why I'm saying Bruno Fernandes is my man of the match, he's the reason as to why we scored that goal. He played the long ball over the defenders. It finds Marcus Rashford. However much Marcus Rashford really scored that goal. But remember, he missed a chance at the end of the second half. It was Bruno again, did the long ball to him. Guess what he did? Poor control of the ball. It goes directly in the hands of the goalkeeper. So for me, Bruno Fernandes is my man of the match.
Yeah, I think that's a great explanation. I think he's definitely up there for me in terms of man of the match. It was a great ball, actually, from Bruno Fernandes, and something we've seen him do a lot this season. As you mentioned, there's been a lot of times where he could have had more assists because of things like that chance where Rashford had, where he took it down, but wasn't able to put the finish. Fernandes to me was again very good tonight.
My iPad's about to die, lads.
No worries, Daz. No worries. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it, mate. Appreciate it anyway. And make sure to check out.
Have a good New Year.
Yep, and to you too, mate. And to you too. Have a good New Year. And make sure to check out Daz's football stand as well. See you later, mate. Cheers. Thanks for coming on. I think obviously, Bruno Fernandes, as I was saying, is a good shout. I think Kobe had mentioned a few people up here. He said, what did he say? I think he said. Did you say Matic? Oh no, sorry. United base up here mentioned Matic. You mentioned Bailly. You mentioned David De Gea as well. I think I'm not sure about Pogba, to be honest. I'm not sure. I think he did. He was trying to create things, but there were a few times where he was a bit kind of slow on the ball. But to be fair, I think throughout the game, our creative players, or especially our midfielders, they did seem quite slow on the ball, but I think it was also because there was a lack of options up front. But in terms of the defence, Rakani, I'll ask you about this. Obviously, Eric Bailly coming back into the team. I think he's played like 3 games in 6, which is ridiculous for him considering his injury record. What do you make of Eric Bailly, and what do you make of the defence overall in general?
I think the defence did okay, apart from remember the free kick that they got at the end of the second half. David De Gea did the save to it. What's the problem with United not defending the near posts? And I hate the way United defends the goal, the posts, those 2 posts, because when you're a defender, you have to cover those. The full backs have to cover those goal posts, and the central defenders have to be in between the goal posts. You get. Now, I'm just asking myself, like the goal we conceded against the equalizer against Leicester City, that of Jamie Vardy, that deflected off Twanzebe. It was the same way they are going to score us that goal. If I told David De Gea never came out to save that ball, because they floated the ball on the near post, and you ask yourself, Harry Maguire, what do you need there? You have take your position, Let Alex Telles mark that ball. You get? Let him mark there. But you find yourself that Harry Maguire is not in the right position. So I think the positioning sense of Manchester United in the defense is really a problem. And remember, there is another cross that was brought in by Ahmad Traore, and
Yeah.
was it Pedro Neto? He headed it over the bar. But Pedro Neto, he got like a free header in the middle of the goal. So I think the way we are defending is horrible. I think Eric Bay is really doing the rest, but I think Harry Maguire needs to really up his game on how he wins such balls, because we don't expect United really to concede such goals when Harry Maguire is present. I like the way he played. I like his confidence today. Remember that ball that was hit on the lower post, and David De Gea put his hand through it. Harry Maguire showed a lot of confidence. He controlled the striker and passed it to Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and very many other things he did. And I liked his foul, especially in the 86th minute when Anton Martial really threw the ball and Harry Maguire really got that foul. And after he held that ball and he ran with it and he threw it back to such that to cater for time so that he gets back to the defense. I liked what he did, but there are things that are really custom to Manchester United each and every game that we go in and play. The forwards are okay, the midfield is okay, but the defense is really, there are some questions. So that's why a serious team, when it comes, it will really see us concede a goal from them. You get?
Yeah.
That's why you see RB Leipzig score on us 3 goals in the same fashion. 3 goals in the same fashion. And if Atori had really a serious defense, United would have been to the round of 16 of the Champions League. The same applies to PSG. We conceded the same goals. We are conceding the same type of goals. You get? Our defending on those 2 posts is really bad. It's really bad. You get? So that's my problem. That's my big problem with the central defenders. When look at Luke Shaw, Alex Telles, they're okay. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, my only question mark is on his final ball. Even though he's having space, he does not utilize it, so he does not help us that way. But the likes of Harry Maguire and Eric Bay, the rest is okay. But the way we defend in the mouth of a goal, it's really, really horrible. Each and every time a ball comes in, you want tension. We don't really trust them. So I don't know what it's supposed to happen there. But I pray to it that the manager really does something or gets a solution to it. Because Eric Bay is a nice defender, playing 3 games consecutively. It's really nice to see him, but I saw him really touching his foot, and I thought he was really to get off the pitch, and I was worried. But it's good to see him getting off the pitch, and wait to see in the press conference that Ole is going to do for next game against Aston Villa, whether he wouldn't have sustained another injury, because I'm afraid of that. But the rest is okay for him, and I think we can play on well like that, apart from the way we defend into that 6 yards area. The 6 yards area of our 18 yards box. It's horrible. Some balls really come in and we are badly positioned. So the position of Harry Maguire and Eric Bay or Lindelof they should improve it, because if at all they don't, if at all they do, all United gets another defender, central defender, and a right back. I see United really getting high things, big things. And I was on the channel of Richie, and I told him that, trust me, if United gets a centre back and a right back that is going to pressurize Aaron Wan-Bissaka to learn how to do a final ball, United is really going to win trophies this season. Because I see people talk of Liverpool, they talk of very many other teams, but on paper, when you look at the team of Manchester United, I think we're having the most balanced team, apart from us not having a right partner of Harry Maguire and a right fullback who is good on the final ball. But the rest, the left fullback is okay, central defense is okay. We just need one central defender in a caliber of Upamecano or any other defender who can really do that job. You get? And the right back, if at all you can get like Kian Trippier, or is it Mapate of Brighton Albion, the right fullback. I think That's what we need. The rest is okay because goals, we will get goals. United can score goals. On any day, United will score goals. You get? But it's also good to note that however much I'm criticizing the central defense or the defenders of Manchester United, remember, we had taken how many games without keeping a clean sheet? We last kept a clean sheet in the game of Wolverhampton Wanderers, isn't it? In the Premier League.
Yeah.
Wolverhampton Wanderers. And Man City, yes. Man City, yes. We last kept a clean sheet in the game of Man City. It ended 0-0, but these games, we've played 9 games, Premier League, unbeaten, but in all of those games, most of them we've been conceding goals. It's only in the game of Man City and West Bromwich Albion that we had not yet conceded goals. Now, in this one, we've not conceded, and we have to really big up to our defenders that we've not really conceded a goal. We've kept a clean sheet, but we have really to go on and really put them on spot on those mistakes that we saw that are supposed to be improved on to see to it that we keep clean sheets. And in my live stream, when I was doing a watch along, there was something I read about Sir Alex Ferguson. He came out and said that goals win matches, clean sheets win trophies. So it shows you the power of clean sheets. You can score 1 goal, keep a clean sheet, and you get 3 points. You can score 3 goals, they score you 4, you lose points. You get? So clean sheets win trophies, goals win matches. So that's something that I really noted about the fullback.
Yeah, I mean, you make some great points there. I think also you've got to look at the fact that in terms of our home record was really poor, at the start of the season. And now, if you look at it, I think we've won, or we're unbeaten in 4 at home, and we've won 3 out of those 4 games. I think we beat West Brom, obviously, we beat Leeds, and we've beaten Wolves. So that seems to be something that's improving as well. But I think you make a good point about defence, as that, the types of goals that we're conceding are the same sort of goals, as you said. The crosses that we can't seem to deal with. There's always someone free at the back post, or Harry Maguire's out of position. And if we can sort that out, or as you said, get another centre back, potentially Upamecano, someone like that, we could really put in a challenge for this title, or at least win a trophy. Because with that defence, I don't think we can really win the Premier League or the Champions League or anything like that, because you need to have a consistent defence over a long period of time. So I don't think our defence is consistent enough. So yeah, I agree with a lot of what you said. Adam's joined. Thanks for joining, Adam. Appreciate it. He's getting a bit excited about potentially challenging for the league. Listen, it's nice that we are getting excited about something rather than being a bit pessimistic. But at the same time, I don't want to get carried away. Liverpool are still a better team than us, really. But you never know what can happen over the course of 38 games, and obviously with the situation it is right now, it's very kind of fluid. So I don't know when these games are going to get played, how they're going to get played. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But I guess the last question I'm going to ask you before I wrap this up, Rakani, is I guess on the kind of title race, and your views on it, because you've heard what I've had to say. I don't want to get too overconfident about it, but I want to hear what you think. Do you think that this season we have any sort of chance of beating Liverpool to the title, or do you think that right now we still need to kind of keep it quiet, just keep calm and just take it a game by game basis?
I think it's ever since Alex Ferguson left, the only time we crossed to the year or we got past Christmas and we are close to the title was Jose Mourinho, his second season at Manchester United, when he bought in Lukaku, Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Yeah.
But we were in second position, but Man City was way far. I think they even won the title, although we really hit them on the last game, on our second last game, where Chris Smalling scored, was it a brace at Paul Pogba? The game ended 3-2. United conceded 2 goals in the first half, and they came back and scored 3 goals. So, however much it was like that, we crossed into the next year. That was 2018. It was 27. Was it 2017? 2018, yes. It was 2018. Yeah. But the difference between the team, what that was Man City that was leading the table, was really horrible. I think they were like 15 points ahead of Manchester United. You get? So, but this time round, United are entering the year having a game in hand and waiting for the result of Liverpool against Newcastle. Even if they win, I know United will go away and win against Burnley. We are winning that game against Aston Villa, I know. And secondly, we are playing Liverpool next after Aston Villa. So I think our title race can really be put on another level for Manchester United, and our hopes are going to be high if at all we really get a result against Liverpool. Only a draw is enough. You get? Getting a draw, a win will be okay, but if at all you get a draw against Liverpool on the 17th of January 2021, having won our game in hand, or having, I think we would have played Burnley our game in hand. If at all we win against Aston Villa and we go ahead and play Liverpool, I think the players will be in high gear and it will be like a final. You get? So I think our title hopes are alive. They are alive because United has shown you that it can go for a run. Now, in the last 9 Premier League games, United has not lost a game. You get? It has drawn 2 games. And which 2 games? Drawing against a team known as Man City, drawing again against a team known as Leicester. And those are teams that you're not going to play on a daily. They just come once in a while. So I think United can stretch, if at all United can stretch its winning run for the next, like in the next 10 games, United wins like 8, loses like 2, like that. United will see itself competing for the title, and the title chances are alive because we have the best squad. Trust me. Apart from us not having another centre back who can partner Harry Maguire or Victor Lindelof, but the rest is okay. The midfield is okay. You can bench Paul Pogba, Nemanja Matic, Danny Van Beek, Edson Cavani, and the team looks great. You bench Antoine Martial, you bench Marcus Rashford, you bench Freddie, you bench Scott McTominay, and the team plays well. So it shows you how United is rich on its bench. That's a very big improvement that United never had the last season. Remember, we would have even reached we would have won the Europa League last season if at all you had such a squad. And that's why I'm telling people that even the Europa League, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can go ahead and win it because he's having a better squad than he had last year. You get? Injury, even if an injury hits us, it's like we have no injury at Manchester United. Paul Pogba gets injured, is out, United continues winning. Lindelof gets off, we get a clean sheet. Roman Saiss is off, other players come in and do the needful. So the title hopes are clear. If at all United keeps on the winning run, and we shouldn't lose against Liverpool on the 17th of January. That's what I think, and that's what's going to keep us on the tail of Liverpool. Because Liverpool, this season, is not the Liverpool of the previous season. You get? Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, Firmino, especially Firmino, is not that player who really plays like he used to play way back. You get? So that's the problem. So, and if at all Firmino is the best player at Liverpool. And if at all he's not delivering the way we expect him to deliver, don't expect Liverpool to perform a lot as it did last season. Because Sadio Mane is good, Mo Salah is good, but Firmino has a very big impact. He plays into that Liverpool team. So I think our title hopes they're really alive, and I think United fans have all the chances really to dream about United lifting that trophy again. Because look at teams that are chasing United. Most of them have drawn. Have you seen them? Leicester City.
Yeah, true, yeah.
So let's wait and see where Liverpool. So I think by the time we reach March, United would have put up a stretch that no one is going to believe, because goals are going to come in. Unless Edward doesn't get the bag to go and break the bank to bring in a central defender. But if it only brings in a central defender and a right full back, who can really come in like you saw what Ole Gunnar did today and got off Luke Shaw and got off Alex Telles and brought on Luke Shaw. And if at all you can get off, like in the 10 minutes, you can get off Aaron Wan-Bissaka and bring in a right full back who can really bring in those balls. I think United can really be a very big threat if at all those changes are made. As you see Iron Man saying, Kevin Trippier, Upamecano, you get, you see his
Yeah.
if at all he can get two of those players, I think United will really cause a very big threat and we can lift the Premier League title this season.
I hope so, mate. I hope you're right. But yeah, it's better than dreaming about getting top 4, obviously. But to be fair, there's no reason why we can't be optimistic. As you said, I think you make a good point. The teams that are chasing us right now, they're pretty inconsistent. I mean, Jose Mourinho's Spurs can't buy a win right now. You've got Frank Lampard, who, again, as well, can't buy a win. Leicester are the only team that seem kind of consistent, and even they're dropping points. So the fact we got the win today was massive, and hopefully we can continue that into next year. Iron Man, obviously, as you mentioned, with the comment saying Trippier, Upamecano, and CMF replace Pogba in the future. Then we sign this January. We'll improve our team and close the gap. At least second in the league, winning Europa League and FA Cup. And FA Cup or League Cup. Well, that would be a successful season for me. But I think at the start of the season, if you look at what United fans wanted, most of them would have said we want to get closer to the likes of Man City and Liverpool and not have that embarrassingly large gap that we did last season. And it doesn't look like that's going to happen this season. We're right on their tail, as you said, and it's looking up. It really is looking up. So, and the depth of our squad as well is going to help us because. I think in previous seasons, we've kind of looked all right for periods, but then as soon as we've had a few injuries, we've looked really poor. But now we can change it. And obviously, Martial didn't start today, but when he came on, I didn't think he did too badly. And to be able to bring on players like Martial onto the pitch and not have to start them every week is going to make a big difference. So hopefully we can use that to the best of our ability. But I am going to end it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you check out United Social Television as well as Daz's Football Stand, who is also on. Thanks for you guys for coming on, and thanks to everyone for watching as well. Leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel as well if you are new around here. And I'll see you for the Aston Villa preview. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Cheers.